Alright. Hello, everybody. So, with that being said, let's begin. Remember, when I say hi or hello, basically means the same thing, and we hop straight into the video. So let's get right into it. So you see the title? I actually want to apologize if anybody was or doesn't care anymore by the time you watch this video. This is a honest opinion review on the manga, another, and I might have to throw some differences in there too. So just letting all of you know, that is a warning in case if spoilers are there and you don't know what another is, but by this point, let's be honest, everybody knows what another is. It's like Final Destination. Mine is, In fact, I count it as Final Destination 6, and then you can go to Bloodlines. Okay, aside from the Final Destination stuff, let's hop straight into this honest opinion review between the manga and the anime, if I have to, and just the manga itself, but hopefully just reviewing the manga. So, when I read this, I obviously enjoyed it. It had a different premise to the story. It had a different plot. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then you obviously know the umbrella scene. Yeah, so something I didn't like throughout the manga itself, um between the anime, uh Akizawa, I think her name is. She's got the long brown hair and all that stuff. From anime perspective. Now her best friend is Sagiri, and um the girl that got pierced through the neck with the umbrella is only brought up once in the anime, and that's like halfway through the entire anime. Um some things I was actually disappointed about, but I understood why, and it made sense. So, let me tell you some differences now. If you don't want spoilers, and if you have not read this manga, if you have not seen the anime, then click off now. Other than that, we're moving forward now. So, between the anime and the manga, like I said, Takako Sagiri is Akizawa's best friend. In the manga, it was Yukari. Hey, at least it wasn't Yukari Takiba. Um, but throughout the entire manga, Akizawa, she's just like so annoying and she complains too much. That's just my personal perspective on her character in the manga. In the anime, she's okay, and we obviously know what happens. Now, the entire mansion scene when they get there, yes, um I can't think of his name, but he's the teenager that wears the glasses. I can't think of his name. Because in the anime, Akizawa saves Sakaki Kabara from being killed by him. But that's for the anime. The fights in the anime that happens in the anime itself without the whole mansion, not without, throughout the whole mansion section near the end, never happens in the manga. There is one fight though inside of the kitchen. Misaki, she's Akizawa wanted to bring her to the kitchen to talk, but that's not really what her plan was. And this part is honestly disturbing. I will get into more things in a moment. But she says there's a lot of tools in the kitchen, and then she starts fighting Masaki for no reason. For no reason. And it's like the curse has her. It's got her, and she pierces, I think it has to be, a knife through Masaki's glass eye that she could see the dead one with. Now, between the anime and the manga, in the anime, her eye is green. In the manga, her eye is blue, which I thought was pretty cool. Two of my favorite colors, by the way. So, I I just didn't see any point of like Akizawa trying to actually kill her. But she stabs her glass eye in the manga and thinks that she won, and she laughs sinisterly in a sinister way. And in the anime, none of that happens because the kitchen's already on fire and the curse has nearly almost everybody. Well, if you have sanity anyway. So in the manga, again, kid with glasses. I'm sorry, I haven't really watched the anime in a while, so I don't remember his name. I do apologize. You can comment down below if you want to, but other than that, so we all know that one of the students, knocks him out. In the anime, he threw him over the railing because he thought he was the one that was the dead one that year, as they say. And same thing happens in the manga, but he leads him out into the forest and hits him over the head with a rock. But in the manga, he goes to Masaki before the fight in the kitchen with Akizawa, and he goes to Masaki and Sakaki Kabara, and he leads them out there. Well, he leads Sakaki out there anyway, and tells him that he's still breathing, which I thought was a neat detail. So in the manga, I'm going to summarize this to being very short because I don't want to talk that long. Basically, Akizawa got glasses, and the rest of them, they live, except for Sagiri, which we don't see how she dies, because lightning struck the mansion in the manga, and that was honestly about it. Um, that was all. They go to a hospital scene, and I want to note something very important that happens in both the anime and the manga. In the manga, it feels more emotional, but in the anime, it feels dumb. Reiko, Sakaki Kabara's aunt, he kills her in both versions because that's how the story goes. Now, Masaki does tell him in the manga at least to stay away over and over, but he doesn't listen, and he called her mom when he said goodbye, Reiko, goodbye, mom. And I thought that was really weird. It happens in both versions, because that's just how the story goes. Now, respectfully, Sakaki Kabara, once the curse is over, in the manga, he cries at her grave and says that he's sorry. At least that's what I think anyway. I only read the manga once, and I can't remember most of the differences, but most of the more important ones I actually can. It's been like over a week and a month. It's been a while since I've actually read it, but it's one of those ones that you want to reread for like for another go. um but yeah, he cries at Reiko's her grave, and in the anime, he doesn't do that. After Sakakibara is done crying in the manga, he realizes that Masaki is there at the graveyard as well. I'll call it the graveyard. That's what I'll call it. Or gravestones. Gravestones makes more sense for another, to be honest. So yeah, he notices her, and the manga just moves on with its story. In the anime, after he is done at Reiko's gravestone, he realizes Masaki automatically, which is a big, big, big mistake, but I don't really care because I like both versions and differences. Um, there was another scene that actually in the manga terrified me because the manga felt more disturbing than the anime, and that says a lot. So, we're gonna rewind a few chapters into the manga. So, in said manga, he's having his dream sequence, which I think is a little bit better in the anime, but hey, it's cool either way because it leads up to something very disturbing. Um Before the whole trip up to the mountain and the shrine and the pictures and the and everything like that, Sakakibara is sleeping, and everyone around him, everywhere he turns, they say that it's his fault because of the people that have died. And they say that in the anime, yes, but like I said, his dream sequence is a little bit better. But after that dream sequence, the manga makes you think that he wakes up, but another version of his self that's really evil says that maybe he is the other one, and it's a very disturbing scene. Now, I'm not going to say why because it threw me off guard, but in the anime he wakes up after that dream and he gets a phone call from his dad. Um that's pretty much all the differences I can think off of my head. But to sum it all up with a conclusion, another with the manga, 10 out of 10. The anime is also 10 out of 10. They both have their own stories, their own different plots, and I think that it's really cool the way they did that. The way the manga told the story in a different way, the way that the anime told the story in a different way. Again, if you have never read or seen Another, I wouldn't recommend it because it's not for ones of the faints of the hearts for both versions. But if you want to read or watch it, go right ahead. I'm not your dad, your brother, or anything like that. I'm just giving my honest opinion review. So, this has been my honest opinion review of Another for both versions. Now, I do want to say something right quick. He gave me the go ahead, but I said no, and it still feels wrong. Rick, if you don't know who Rick is, he's one of the major supporters on the channel, and he recently fought through cancer. Uh, you, however, can beat cancer, and I don't know how. But he's doing better now. He's honestly, by this point, he's resting. But shout outs to Rick. The ultimate shout out goes to you and everyone else that's supporting the channel as well, but mostly to Rick. Because I felt really, really bad that happened to him, but he's okay. Yeah. Like I said, in conclusion, for both versions, 10 out of 10. And no, I'm not lying about the beating cancer thing. My team told me what happened and how he's doing. Like I said, Ultimate Plus shoutouts go to him and everyone else, but mostly to Eric. So, everybody, that sums it up. Sorry if that ending was a bit depressing, because it kind of is in my head. But this has been the honest opinion review of Another for the manga and the anime. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one. And I'm sorry that this one was delayed for so long, but I think I promised in a video for another, so here you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye for now.